Good Monday morning. Welcome to The Morning Touch. The Morning Touch is brought to you by the Chaplaincy for the Homeless and the FSBC in Glendale. I am Darwin Campbell. Welcome. I hope your week will start off great as we begin the first week of the new year. We always do our segment on Monday called the Monday Morning Quarterback. This morning's Monday Morning Quarterback comes from the book of 1 Kings chapter 2, verses 13 to 25. 1 Kings 2, 13 through 25. His name is Adonijah. A little background, Adonijah was one who thought he was going to be king, and he set up a lot of celebrations prior to the death of King David, thinking that I'm first in line and I'm entitled to be king. When David made his choice and selected Solomon, then this caused consternation with Adonijah and caused him to want to conspire to rip the throne from Solomon. The question is, was that God's will? As we look at 1 Kings chapter 2, verses 13 through 25, we find out how God handles this. And what I want us to focus on this morning is some things are better left alone. You know, it's easy for us to think about the things in our lives that need to be put away for good. We stir it up, we bring it up, we keep stuff going. But is it really in your best interest to continue to allow old flames to burn, old fires to create controversy and chaos and division? Let's look at Adonijah, our Monday morning quarterback. Enter his film room. There, the Bible talks about how Adonijah went to his mother, Bathsheba, after he had been deposed from being the king and Solomon was chosen. He went to his mom with a solemn request. And he says, listen, you know the kingship was mine. Verse 15, all Israel's expected me to be king. They expected me to be king, and the kingship was given to my brother. So I have just one request. I would like you to go to King Solomon and ask him to give me Abishag, the Shunammite, as a wife. Well, if you know the story, Abishag was the one who kept David warm. It was his concubine before his death. And under the law, generally speaking, tradition would hold that one who would take the king's concubine would also have a foothold on being king. So Adonijah was secretly trying to undermine the political process that God had set up for the nation of Israel. Solomon was chosen king by David. He was in the line that God desired, but Adonijah thought he could do something by going through the back door, talk to mom. He talked to his mom, Bathsheba. Bathsheba goes to the king Solomon to speak to him about Adonijah. You know, Adonijah, all he wants is Abishag, the Shunammite, as a wife, David's concubine. Well, that didn't sit too well with King Solomon, even though he said he would grant the mother, Bathsheba, her thoughts, her requests. This is what happened. Verse 22, King Solomon answered his mother, why are you requesting Abishag, the Shunammite, for Adonijah? Since he is my elder brother, you might as well give him the kingship for Abishai the priest and for Joab, son of Zeruiah. Here's what happened. As a result, I admonish Adonijah to be put to death today. Then King Solomon gave the order to Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, who struck down Adonijah, and he died. Some things are better left alone. Adonijah was conspiring to overthrow King Solomon, and he wanted to use his mom to create a situation where he could get David's concubine and give him a second point. One, I was the firstborn. Two, I have Abishag, David's concubine. That is a rightful claim to kingship. Solomon said no. God said no. Adonijah was ordered to be killed. My friends, He wanted to put himself in a position to overthrow the kingdom and get it anyway, because he just couldn't leave it alone. Some things are better left alone. Think about that in your own lives, how things and matters become worse because we push the issue and we push the envelope and we try to create a situation. We try to make a case. We try to bring evidence. We won't let stuff just die. We won't just let it go. Some things are better left alone. Sitting in Adonijah's film room, that's what we learned today. Some things are better left alone. You know, we stir the pot on old controversies. We stir the pot on old issues, and we create issues that could be non-issues. Holding on to grudges only leads to frustration, only leads to depression, only leads to bad decision making. Ask Adonijah. Holding on to frustrations and not letting things go, grinding old axes, creates friction. It creates friction in families. How many families have been destroyed or divided over grinding old axes with friends and family? How many workplaces have been divided because we want to grind old axes because we didn't get that promotion, or that worker was favored over another worker, or I didn't get that raise? Some things are better left alone. We need to live in our present. We need to practice being a builder, a supporter, a booster. We need to practice being positive. If things are going to get better in our families and in our workplaces and in our neighborhoods, we have got to let sleeping dogs lie. And sometimes things are better left alone. You know, we just have to learn to accept our hand and our lot in life. When we seek to stir up controversies, when we seek to go around through the back door using secret, dark conspiracies and trying to stir up controversy, it's a problem in families and in the workplace. When we make foolish demands, it destroys peace. It destroys progress. It destroys life. The best role that we can play in life today, in our families, in our workplaces, in the church, in our neighborhoods, we should practice peacemaking. We should practice working towards progress. We should practice being builders, boosters, and supporters, not try to connive a way to deceive or to squeam our way into some power position, not to try to stir up controversy and chaos, not to try to overthrow the current administration or situation. This calls for unity. Adonijah made a foolish request, and the king saw it. He saw the overthrow. He saw the underlying motive, and he ordered his death in conjunction with the will of God. You know, it doesn't turn out well when we stir up trouble. Some things, my friends, are better left alone. Ask Adonijah. We're sitting in his film room. Some things in your life, in my life, in the lives of our families, and our workplaces, and our neighborhoods, some things are just better left alone. We need to be the positive peacemakers, boosters, and supporters in our families, homes, churches, neighborhoods, workplaces. And in this, as we wind this down, don't be an Adonijah. Be a peacemaker. Don't be an Adonijah. Let God's will be done in all things. It is not for you or me to take the law into our own hands. It's not for you or me to try to devise a plan to build ourselves up and make ourselves look good. It's about peace. It's about being a booster. It's about being a good neighbor. It's about being a good citizen. It's about having a good heart. It's about being godly. Some things are better left alone. Don't be a troublemaker. Don't stir up strife. Be a peacemaker. Show the love of God and let God's will be done in all things. You know, the Morning Touch is brought to you by the FSBC in Glendale and the Chaplaincy for the Homeless. I hope that you've been encouraged not to be an Adonijah. Hope you've been encouraged to be a peacemaker today. God bless you and keep you, and we'll see you again next time on The Morning Touch.